Hey everybody, so we've got an Optoma GT1080 here. The customer bought a new lamp assembly. They didn't install it right. They got the big tab and little tab flipped, and then it melted itself. No good. So we're going to go ahead and either splice this in, or if it reaches to the ballast, it might, then we'll just put this wire in. But this is the right wire. We have a lamp over there, and it plugs in little to little, big to big, as it should. So let's go ahead and switch that connector. So now I'm starting the video. We're not going to pause it. We're just going to keep going no matter what happens, I think. This is the connector that was inside. The customer unfortunately did not pay attention to how it was going in, and they flipped big tab, little tab, see that? And then it caused it to melt. It's happened so many times. Here's the replacement, and the replacement connector that hopefully will just drop right in, and that's what it should have looked like. I guess they just didn't notice it wasn't down all the way. So let's get inside. The lamp door is already loose because I wanted to see if this was inside, but they were going to try and hot wire it. See, they cut and stripped the wires. I mean, valiant effort, but that wasn't going to work. They said they heard a pop. I'm a little nervous that something happened with these and they blew the power supply up. So one of the things we're going to do, we're going to take the top off. I was going to try and cut these, cap them, and then power it up, but I think we're just going to open it up. I'll unplug that wire, and then we'll, bypass the door switch and see what happens. So I'm going to set these on the lamp door. There's no screws on the top to take out, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws on the bottom to take out. Screws are out. So now we can pop this top cover off. Just get started. There we go. Once it's started, it's really easy. And the keyboard is attached under here, so we have to just carefully get that unplugged. There's the top. Not super dirty inside, that's good. There's the lamp connector down there. Nothing sticks out as obvious in the power supply. I don't see any blown caps. That's good. Maybe they just heard a noise of the lamp arcing. Not sure. But I'm going to disconnect that wire here. Let's get this untwisted from the fan. Going to take that out. Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be too short. I mean, it's close, but too short. So we are going to splice these, but we'll do that after I make sure the power supply is good. So I'm going to put here we are, a little clamp clip. And let's get power. Okay, good. That was good. Let me grab my keyboard. where my test keyboard is. That's a little weird. Oh well. Well, we'll just use the original keyboard. I just wanted to see if we're getting any light, you know, standby lights on the keyboard. So let's plug that in. Oh, actually I remember my keyboard is on another projector at the moment. That's right. My test keyboard. Okay, so are we still holding the door switch down? Nope. That fell off. Thought I heard something do that. Alright. Okay, that's good. We have standby. Let's just run it without a lamp. Make sure all the fans and stuff come on. Yeah. So far, so good. Alright. And I just want to see that fan come on. There we go. Alright. So the insides are probably fine. Probably don't have any ballast issues, anything like that. Pretty much, this is what we're looking at. So we just have to splice and shrink tube. Let's get the shrink tubing. There it is. So I got a piece of shrink tubing. There we go. And then let's figure out where we're going to splice this. So let's see. So this wire comes around to here. So that's this side. So that means this side. We're going to cut this in the middle, get that out of the way, get that off. So the one thing I like to do is I like to stagger the connections. And so the cut one was the big side. So let's make the other side just a little bit shorter. This will offset the connections. You know what I mean? So that way they're not right next to each other. Now these are very low current. I mean, it's 200 watts at, you know, 100 volts on average. So it's only running about 2 amps. So this wire is plenty big at 2 amps. It's high voltage for the ignition, and then low voltage or high voltage, low current for the ignition. And then while it's running, it's slightly higher current at a much lower voltage. So this is what we're going for. We just need to solder and shrink tube that. So let's get the soldering iron. And we're going to use my Pro 32, the STM 32. I think I got this from, yeah, Sane Smart. So we'll use that. Let me get some power to this thing. Alright. Let that warm up. Let's get some solder. solder. Let's slide the shrink tubing down on there. There we go. Get something to hold that. Get these, my little helping hands. Let's make that a little higher. Let's go 340. Make sure that flows smooth. All right, that looks good. And then this one. Didn't quite get that. So what I'm trying to do is wrap these around themselves so that it's a straighter connection. You know, so the shrink tubing slides over easier. There we go. There we are. And just touch this up a little bit. There we are. And then let's turn that off. There we are. Oops. Good enough. Alright, so now we can put that let's see here, that should go over that. Yep. And then that one should definitely fit over that. Good. All right, we just need to shrink those down. Oh, do I have my hot air thing? Let me get my hot air thing. Of course it doesn't quite reach and I can't move the camera, but that's okay because I can drag it over here where we can see it. And this is that shrink tubing with the glue in it, so it'll seal that up really nice. It'll keep any ambient moisture. I mean, there shouldn't be much, but if there's any, it'll keep it out. And it'll keep the shrink tubing from sliding, which is important. You don't want it to expose that connection. Now this should be down out of the way where it shouldn't be a problem, but you know, just being careful. Alright, splice is finished. I'm gonna let that cool down, put the hot air fella back, and alright, let's move that soldering iron too. Trying to move too fast. So I think we're going to take the basket out, because I will have to put that route that connector through. So being that we're not stopping, hopefully my panning around isn't too bad for you. But let's do that. Let's get this apart. Alright, let's get that one. And I'll show you why we have to take this out. I really don't want to. I kind of want to leave it where it is, because that means I'm going to have to deal with this tape. But let's see if that... Okay, that might be alright. Alright, so it goes over here. Let's get that screw out. Set that there. Good, you guys can see it. And then bring connector up through there. That sits there. Then we can put that screw back in. Alright. Let's get these wires under there. Let's just slide it back a little. Let's get it past my splice so that we can get those wires under there, and then once it's under there, the heat shrink should fit. It just doesn't want to slide under. Oh, actually it won't even have to. It's just going to go like that. Come on. There we go. I'm happy with that. Then these wires go through there. They're going to go over the top. Let's wrap that back around it as it was. Drop this back in. Beautiful. And I didn't have to unplug the color wheel or peel that tape off all the way. So that'll go right back into position. Let's plug that fan back in. And then we are. Okay. Actually, let's keep that snug. There we are. Then we just have to put those screws back in. Then I will drop that lamp in, we'll plug in the keyboard, and then we'll, bypass the door switch, and then we'll see if it fires up. If it does, which it should, then it's finished, and we can put it back together. And then I'll test it over on the other side. I'm not going to bother with showing that, because we'll see it here, but, Alright, those are in. Let's get this. This is the replacement assembly. And, where'd the screw go? Where'd the screw go? Well, it's missing the lamp door screw, or the lamp screw that holds it in. Luckily, I have quite a few of those. They have a little shoulder so that they're not, they kind of wobble when you loosen them up. There we are. So this is what happened when the lamp connector, when you install one of these. Let's look here. That's the connector. And the big side is over here, and the little side's over there. And if you look at this plug, you can see there's a large tab and a small tab, large tab. It's not a great design by Optoma, in my opinion, or Coretronic, whoever made this. And the wire, you just push it down. But what a lot of people don't do is they don't lock that handle down, because that makes sure that this is in all the way. And it wasn't. When they did it, it was like that. Wait a minute. Backwards. It was like that. So they had the connector reversed, and didn't go in all the way, and then it melted. It arced and melted. That's how it's supposed to be, just like that. So let's hand you guys back out. Let's drop the camera down here. We're all the way out. Yep. Alright, let's put our door switch on. We're going to have a big shadow from that, so be prepared to see that. Not a big deal, but just be aware. Let's plug the keyboard in. There we are. And let's get the power cord. Okay. So we should get light and picture pretty quickly, as long as everything's fine. I get ready to yank this in case something bad happens. But so far it looks good. The lamp just came on. That means the color wheel's spinning. And we should get a picture. Seeing Optoma. Right there, that's good. And then, let's see that. It's coming up. Let's see if that brightness comes up. Oh yeah, much better. So they must be rear projecting onto a screen, because that's totally backwards. Yep, menu came up, and then that's one of the screw tabs on the lid here. See, so. But this is good. Let's turn it off. See, let's turn it off. And then as soon as that fan stops, we'll put that top on, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, now let's get that clip out. That tape back on. There we go. Good. Set that lens cap on while we do this so that it just doesn't get in my way. Now let's give you guys a little higher view, and we'll put screws back in. And let's get to where it should be. Good. One. Two. Last but not least, there we are. Beautiful. Let's put the door switch back on, or the lamp door back on so that it holds the switch shut. Let's snug that up. Get that clamp out of the way. Alright, let's see. It should come on now. If it, pardon me, if it comes on now, we're good. Optoma, starting to come up. There we go. We got picture. Let's see. Menu. Yep, we have menu. Let me see if I can focus this a little bit. There we go. Much better. And so, high altitude test pattern, IR. We're looking for reset the lamp stuff. Maybe it's in here. Input source, source lock, high altitude, information hide, keypad lock, test pattern, IR remote, 12 volt trigger. Background, here we are, lamp settings. Lamp hours. Lamp reset. There we are. Let's reset. Yes. Alright, so lamp timer is reset. Picture is good. I'm calling this one fixed. So now you can see it takes roughly half an hour to replace a melted connector inside an Optoma GT1080. That is, of course, if you have a connector and all the stuff you need. You can see that's what it takes. There's no cleaning here, no anything else. Just change a connector, put the new lamp in, we're good to go. So in fact, if you need a lamp assembly for one of these, I'll put a link down in the description with a coupon code, but that's the part number, SP.8VH01GC01. Has an Osram inside. Good bulb indeed. I'm gonna have to find out if they're paying for this or what, because originally the company who sold them the lamp, they thought it was maybe their fault, the company's fault, so they were going to pay for it. But this is clearly customer negligence, so I'm not sure. Not really my problem. Most likely though, they'll kind of probably split the difference a little bit. Give them like, I'll get paid, but the customer will probably pay like a small fee, maybe. I don't know. They'll be fair about it, because it happens. It's not a great design, and you know, we've seen this before, but you know, such is life. Most importantly, it's working now, and that's what matters. So I'm gonna shut it down here. I'm gonna let it cool down, and I'm gonna take it over to the larger area, you know, my big test area, and run it over there for a while, and then it'll go back to the customer. But you and I are gonna end the video here because, you know, we've seen enough of these. So if you have any questions about your GT1080 repair or whatever, go ahead and stick it down in the comments. I'll have a link in the description where you can purchase one of these with a coupon code. Make sure you check your instructions and install it like I showed you here. That's critical. Otherwise this will happen. Always match your tabs. Big to big, little to little, not little to big, little to big. Won't work. But as always, if you've gotten this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you don't already. Hit the like button if you don't mind. And most importantly, thank you for watching.